Was the dreams you left so very far behind?
Looking back on it to this day, it's still a pretty good song. It has a lot of youthful pretension to it, but people tend to forget in this day and age. When they look back on some of our early songs, they say, well, they're a bit pretentious. But hell, I was 16, 17 years old. You're pretentious when you're 16 and 17 years old. It was the time again, you know, 67. Everybody was pretentious.
I think it was Howard Rose offered us $50 to appear in New York. And I said we couldn't really go to America on $50, you know, even with a bit of support from Dick James. We needed a bit more than that. We eventually got, I think, about $275, and we... but it meant us going to the Troubadour in Los Angeles.
And the future you're giving me holds nothing for a gun. I've no wish to be living 60 years on.
It was sensational. The turnout was something we couldn't have imagined. Russ Regan and the record company had done a very good job hyping the event, and everybody came to those shows.
The people that turned up and saw us, you know, I mean, I know how I felt. I imagine how Elton must have felt, because he was playing before them, and he had Leon Russell in the front row, and Leon was his idol. And there's, you know, I mean, Elton, I remember Elton saying, God, you know, Leon Russell's going to take me away and tie me up and say, hey, kid, this is how you play the piano, you know.
You know, when you come from England, and particularly at that age, we were all absolutely overawed with the whole thing. But he put on the most incredible show with Nigel and Dee, and you knew that night that a star was born.
With a review from Robert Hilburn for the Los Angeles Times that really did make us a star in the main cities in America before we had to we played there, and the word of mouth spread very, very quickly. This is the new person, this is it, this is the new big thing. And it was ironic, I didn't really want to go to Los Angeles and play the Troubadour Club at that time.
I thought it was great. I mean, I thought it was different, and it caught my ear because at the time it was, I don't know, it wasn't like rock and roll, but it wasn't like pure pop either. I don't know what it was. That's what got me about it. It seemed like an extension of something. It was something I hadn't heard before.
I was going to New York to tour, and I was Derek of Derek and the Dominoes, and I did an American tour which started in New York, and I arrived in New York, and you know how it is when you get to, you know, a town like that, you're immediately swamped with what's going on for them, you know. So if I go from London to New York, it's always like a fresh wave of stuff that you've really got to acclimatise yourself to, and everyone was going crazy about this kid called Elton John.
Luckily we didn't get big-headed about it, because we were playing with too many good musicians on stage. I remember playing a tour with Derek and the Dominoes, with their first American tour when Layla had come out, the album Derek and the Dominoes had come in, and we were second on the bill, and we played a lot of gigs with them. And Eric at that point didn't want any publicity about being in the band, so it was Derek and the Dominoes.